The champagne glass trembled in Marcus's hand as the woman who'd just fired him 3 months ago appeared at his side, her voice barely a whisper. "My age isn't a problem, right?" Marcus Chen stood frozen in the corner of the glittering charity gala, completely out of place in his borrowed suit. He'd only come because his daughter Lily's art teacher had donated a ticket, insisting he needed one night away from single parenthood. At 42, with graying temples and calloused hands from working 2 jobs, he felt like an imposter among the city's elite. The woman beside him was Diane Richardson, 58 years old, CEO of Richardson Technologies, the company that had laid him off when they downsized their engineering department. She wore an elegant navy dress, her silver hair styled perfectly, and there was something vulnerable in her grey eyes that Marcus had never seen during his employment. "I'm sorry?" Marcus managed, confused. Diane's cheeks flushed. "I saw you looking at the silent auction items, the art supplies for school's program. You bid on it 3 times. She paused, gathering courage. "I've been watching you all evening, actually. You're Marcus Chen. You worked for me. I signed your termination papers." The honesty stunned him. "I remember. I also remember you were the only engineer who stayed late to mentor the interns, who brought homemade lunch for the security staff, who kept a photo of his daughter on his desk and left exactly at 5:30 every day to pick her up from school." Diane's voice cracked slightly. "I'm sorry I had to let you go. The board forced those cuts, but that doesn't make it right." Marcus studied her face, seeing not the corporate powerhouse, but a tired woman carrying her own burdens. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because I'm alone at this party surrounded by hundreds of people. Because my children are grown and barely speak to me. They think I chose my career over them, and maybe they're right. Because I just turned 58 and realized I've spent 40 years building an empire but forgot to build a life." She laughed bitterly. "And because I saw you smile when you were on your phone earlier, and I haven't felt that kind of joy in decades. So I came over here to ask a ridiculous question. Would you like to have coffee sometime?" And then I panicked and said that stupid thing about my age. Marcus's phone buzzed. A text from Lily. "Did you eat, Dad? Don't just stand in the corner. Actually talk to people. Love you, 2 hearts." He showed Diane the message. "My daughter. She's 14 and thinks she's the parent." Diane smiled genuinely for the first time. "She sounds wonderful. She's everything." Marcus pocketed his phone. "Miss Richardson." "Diane, please." "Diane, 3 months ago, you did what you had to do. I was angry, terrified actually. Single dad, mortgage, medical bills from when Lily broke her arm last year. But that layoff forced me to finally pursue my own business. I'm starting a tutoring program for underprivileged kids, teaching them engineering and robotics. It's small, barely pays the bills, but I wake up excited every morning." "That's incredible," Diane whispered. "And about coffee?" Marcus continued carefully. "I need to be honest. I don't care about your age. I care that you had the courage to apologize, to be vulnerable with someone you hurt. That takes real strength. But I have a 14-year-old daughter who's my whole world. 2 jobs. And I'm still figuring out who I am after my wife passed 4 years ago. I'm not looking for romance. I'm barely keeping my head above water most days." Diane nodded, looking down. "Of course, I shouldn't have. But I could use a friend," Marcus said gently. "And maybe you could too. Someone who understands what it's like to carry everything alone. Someone to have coffee with and just be human for an hour." Diane's eyes filled with tears. "I would like that very much." 2 weeks later, they met at a small cafe. Diane arrived in jeans. Marcus had never seen her in anything but business attire. They talked for 3 hours. She shared her regrets about missing her children's childhoods. He shared his fears about raising a teenage girl alone. There was no romance, no age gap drama, just to lonely people finding unexpected friendship. 6 months later, Diane offered Marcus office space for his tutoring program, rent-free. He helped her reconnect with her daughter, sharing hard-earned lessons about being present. When Lily's art won a school competition, Diane was in the audience cheering. At the next year's gala, they arrived together, as friends. Someone asked if they were dating. Diane laughed. He's the best friend I didn't know I needed. Age, status, background. None of that matters when you find someone who sees your humanity. Marcus raised his glass to unexpected friendships and second chances. Because sometimes the most important relationships aren't romantic. They're the ones that remind us we don't have to carry our burdens alone, regardless of what society expects or what our differences might be. Sometimes, all we need is someone brave enough to whisper their truth, and someone kind enough to answer honestly.